Mitch Jarvis. Welcome to the Singing Teachers Talk podcast. How are you?
Good, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Really nice to meet you as well. And I'm interested to kind of get into the nitty gritty of what you do, because you launched singing demos in 2011 after graduating from drama school and performing yourself as well. So what made you continue your career in this capacity?
Well, I was at Italian Conti for 8 years. So I started there when I was in year 8 at secondary school, and I did the whole stage school kind of part. And then I went on and did the 3-year course as well. So I spent for 8 years in the London college and had an amazing time there. The teachers and everything were absolutely brilliant. Made some great friends at Italian Conti. It's such a big part of my childhood, even today. And there's still see people at the gym, and there's loads of us that went to Italian Conti actually now living in Bromley. So it's like a weird little old back home, if you like. But in terms of how I kind of got into singing demos, so I always found tech really intriguing. And alongside performing, I guess I kind of just started fiddling around a little bit and playing with some equipment that I had at home. And then from there, that's when it kind of progressed really. So I kind of started to record singers in my year at college. And back in 2011, there wasn't really the necessity to have a vocal reel as such as it is today. I guess that's mainly because of like the internet and things like that and how that's kind of progressed. But back then, you literally just had your headshot. Whereas now, dancers got their dance reels, actors have got their acting reels, singers have got now their singing reels as well. And I think it makes such a big impact, especially on Spotlight's profile in terms of in front of casting directors, and especially if you're a recent grad, really trying to get you into the room. It just gives casting directors that quick ability to be able to quickly listen to something. So it started in 2011. It started in my mum and dad's spare room, recording my peers in my third year. And we were just doing audio files at this point. So up until about 5 years ago, it was always just audio. Now it's when it started to come in terms of video and videoing people sing as well. So casting directors, again, can see people visually acting through performance as well. So going back, it was kind of a helping hand in terms of like trying to help friends, like go and get agents. So it was something on top of just, because when you're in third year, you don't really you have your CV. There's nothing really on it because you haven't done anything apart from your college shows. So it just enabled everyone to have something to be able to sell off to agents as well. And then I guess from there is when it's kind of progressed in terms of people actually wanting that then to be able to send stuff off to agents. And I think it's really helped, especially since COVID. I think that whole kind of segment really introduced the kind of first round almost being a self-tape or the media you've got on your Spotlight profile before almost your first time in the audition room. Now is kind of really a second round, I guess. Like even trying to get through that first hurdle, getting the audition is such a big piece now. Yeah, I think that's why it's kind of progressed. And I guess also competition and the ease of being able to watch media online compared to 12 years ago, again, has completely changed.
What's the actual purpose of having a voice reel? I know you've mentioned it's almost now acting like a first stage to the audition process, but why might a singer actually benefit from having one?
If you're a less confident person, shall we say, I think it gives you the opportunity to get through that first level of nerves, that first kind of audition bit with trying to promote yourself, but with having a bit of a helping hand in the studio. So you should lose that nerves. And then that kind of gives you the ability to build out this vocal reel. It gives you the chance to come in, sing 4 different songs, all in completely different genres and styles. So you can showcase yourself as much as possible to casting directors. I think if you're going to go up like a legit show, for example, and you've got that legit piece on your reel, straight away, you've given the casting director the opportunity to listen to you sing in that kind of style. And I think, like I was just saying a moment ago, I really do think that first hurdle is getting into the door. And once you're in that audition room, then you can be you. But I think getting to that first point is just, especially for recent grads, it's just so hard. And there's so much competition to get out there. I think having that media online is the biggest part of getting in the room at the moment.
You also offer a video component to the voice reel. So what's the benefit of having it filmed as well as having an audio version?
Yeah, up until about 5 years ago, it was literally just all audio files. So you'd click on the audio and you'd have your 4 different songs on there. But now everyone, whether it's because of social media as well, and people want to blast themselves on social media, which rightly so, that's helping so many people get into the audition runs as well. Like people with people are sometimes asking before auditions, how many followers have you got on Instagram and things like that as performers. So I think having that base as well, people, and you know how heavy video content is online. I mean, it's key. I think you can tell by the way TikTok's taken off, Instagram Reels are taken off. Like people aren't just watching or looking at photos anymore. They want video content. So I think A, it's great for social media, and B, it's more interactive on your Spotlight profile. So casting directors can really see you perform as well.
Is that really the way it's going, that they're asking how many followers you have?
Yeah, I've definitely heard of some recent shows where they've had to, in their notes, they've had to put how many followers they've got.
Oh, wow. Just as if we need anything else to contend with.
Yeah. It's mental, isn't it? But at the same time, I kind of get it. I mean, it's then free promotion for, if you've got two girls down to a final and you've got one, you cannot pick between the two, and one's got 200,000 followers and one's got 20 followers, straight away, that target audience, you've already got 20,000, 200,000 people coming. Essentially, they're advertising the show consistently to all those people. That makes their friends chat about it. I mean, I'd love to actually see the numbers of how much that could actually impact on the tickets sale of a show. Because say even half of those people came, but I guess it's then the reach from their friends come and see it, and then they're putting it on social media. It just goes on and on, doesn't it?
I guess we only have to look to the career of Hannah Lowther.
She came to me. I recorded her reel years ago, but yeah, completely.
Yeah, she was doing all of her kind of reels at Tesco while she was working there in the pandemic. And then her career has just gone from strength to strength with getting into Heathers and then getting into Six and doing some amazing things. And that was down to not just social media. She's a talented girl, but it's the social media that put her out there.
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy, isn't it?
Crumbs. Not sure I like where this is heading.
Get them followers.
We've talked about social media here. We've given it the highlight, but where should singers really be sharing their voice reels? Is it a social media thing? Are there other places that we should be sharing it? Is there any old school about this where we pop it in the post box and hope it arrives on the doorstep of an agent?
8 out of 10 people that come and see me, the reason they come and see me is probably, for those 8 people, is probably because they want to either get an agent or they want to change their agent. And I think with that, you've obviously got your old school approach, which is writing out a fresh new email with a new little bit about that specific agency, so you look like you know what that agency does. But ultimately, you're sending off about 200 emails to all these different agents. But within those emails, I think not just having a CV, but being able to have links to literally see you within 2 seconds is so much more interactive. Like, who really wants to sit there and read through a CV unless you've got amazing credits on there? I think if you've got the ability to be able to just quickly watch someone straight away, and you've given the chance to have your best self shown as well by being able to sing through your songs hundreds of takes to get the best ones rather than just a one-click wonder. You've given yourself your best chance to get seen by these people. And I think that's the best way it can really help support you in terms of your career.
You've already given us a bit of the lowdown on casting directors, potentially looking at the followers that we have on our social media. You say that you've got this strong network of casting directors and agents that you connect with. What are they actually looking for at the moment?
I would say they want to see what you're going to be like as soon as you walk in that room. I think there's no point going and doing a piece which is going to be something completely different to how you are. And I guess it's like headshots as well, right? If you go and get your headshot and you look completely different, you look completely over the top Photoshop, they've made you 4 dress sizes less or shirt sizes less than you actually are, or vice versa. I think that it's all about the rawness of it. You want to sound live. You want to sound like you're singing in the room rather than coming and being auto-tuned the hell out of sounding like Britney Spears. Like, I think that's what's key for sure, is making sure it sounds live and making sure it sounds like you're going to actually sound when you get in there. Because otherwise, they're just going to be super disappointed. They've had this incredible vocal, which it should be anyway, live, but with it being auto-tuned the hell out of, then coming in the room, you can't actually hit the note, those notes you've just sang in your reels. They're going to be like, you sang it here where you can't sing that out because it was auto-tuned. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So I think it's the rawness that I think is what they're probably after. And the rawness and realness, maybe.
A true representation of what you're going to
Yeah,
be
for
able
sure.
to offer. Yeah. And in terms of styles, is there one that is trumping the other at the moment?
Yeah, so I always try and get people to really try and get as many different song choices or genres as possible into their reel. So a legit musical theatre piece, a contemporary musical theatre piece, a pop rock, and then something else which is just generally going to show you off in your best life. So whether you're a character performer, getting a really good solid character piece in there. But then I always contradict myself after directly saying that, because then I say, but if you're not a legit singer or not going to be in Les Mis or in a legit musical and you are a rock pop singer, then there's no point trying to come and just try your hardest at getting all that legit sound in it, because you're not going to go and do that show anyway. So you're better off coming and just showing you in your absolute best light, doing song choices which are really going to demonstrate exactly what you do and where you're going to sit casting wise. And then I think that will give you a really solid foundation of the vocal role.
And if somebody is that pop rock star, how can they differentiate the things that they're showing so it doesn't all seem a bit samey in the 4 tracks?
Yeah, it's a good point. So I think a lot of the time, especially particularly girls, particularly girls, I would say, are really strong belters. They'll want all 4 songs to be belts, which sound incredible separately. But when you put all 4 back to back, you're like, well, this is a little bit much. Just listening to Astonishing, then we go straight to Journey to the Past, then we go straight into something else. But so I think having that dynamic is really key in terms of a vocal reel, to make sure you've got something really soft sounding halfway through. And it doesn't have to be the crazy belty part of the song. Like, it could just simply be a really nice soft part of the verse, like, which shows a bit more character, shows a bit more control over your voice potentially. So I think that's really key as well, is not coming in with 4 belty songs.
Yeah, it's a hard one to convince people of sometimes.
And I get it, because you want to demonstrate that you can do all those, you can do all these 4 crazy belty songs. But at the same time, when you're listening to them back to back, it can just be a bit overwhelming.
Ideally then, should these songs that they bring to record be different to the ones that they'll take into the room in their audition folder? Or does it not really matter?
I don't think so. I think generally, I guess your rep folder are the songs that you should sound the best in. So I guess as in the same light, you want to demonstrate your absolute best self inside the room, you also want to demonstrate yourself in the best light on your vocal reel. So I don't think so at all. And I guess by the time cast directors has gone through however many hundreds of people, the profiles they've gone through to get people in the room, like as bad as it says, they're probably going to have forgotten what was on your reel anyway. So I think just getting whatever you sound the best in is key to getting that onto the reel, for sure. And whether that's the same as a rep folder or not, then I wouldn't worry too much. I guess with the reel, I would just say is probably a stronger push of singing songs that you're suitable to be cast in as well, just so you can really, I think you've got to put yourself in the cast director's seat. And when you're listening to your reel and watching your reel, can they, if they shut their eyes or watch it or were watching you, can they visualize you in those tracks or in those roles? I think it's key, because if you can, perfect, they're going to get you in 100%. But if you look completely different to something which you're never going to be cast in, then I wouldn't do that.
When singers come to you, do they record the whole song or is it a cut?
So I've got a couple of different packages. One is more focused on the videos, and one is just audios. With the audios, they do longer tracks, but for the video, it's just 4 1-minute video cuts, which gives people the ability to get those 4 different genres in there. That is what they want to do. And then they've also got the 4 different videos as well, and both will be recorded in landscape and portrait as well for, again, that fun social media content that we're talking about.
I'm just pressing the pause button on the podcast for a very brief moment to invite you to book your free BAST call. If you've been thinking about joining the BAST community through one of our courses, but you just don't know which option is the best for you, then why not book your free Zoom chat with our very own Kimberly George, who has all the answers. Head over to basttraining.com/book-a-call/ and click that big blue button. That's basttraining.com/book-a-call/. Now, where were we? Is there a song that you're kind of sick of hearing at the moment? Is someone bringing something that you're turning into a groaner about?
You know what? It goes through cycles. Every couple of years, you get the same couple of songs like continuously. I guess like a few years ago, it was like Woman from Pirate Queen. Then it went into What Baking Can Do, which everyone wanted to do. And then it went into a bit of Journey to the Past. I guess it was probably last year's song. This year, I'm going to put my bets on the majority being from Mean Girls.
Yeah, I
Which
see
again,
that.
I'm not totally against, because it's very current. It's very current. And again, going back to my previous point, if you're going to sing songs that you're castable in, I mean, a lot of people that come to see me are graduates and of that age anyway, so they're perfect for those roles. Plus, it's coming to the West End, again, perfect. And then you want to put yourself into the casting director's position and see you in those roles again. So I think it's fine. It's just me who's got to listen to it every week.
You know what? I have never heard anyone sing On My Own from Les Mis.
Oh, really? What, in a real? Yeah, I've done it. I have done it a few times.
And not in a reel, not in an audition.
Really?
Barely anyone brings it to a singing lesson because it was blacklisted for such a long time. I think it's still on that list of don't ever sing that or whatever. And it never comes out. I just see poor little Eponine just knocking on the window saying, "Let me in."
Yeah.
But then I love that song. Who doesn't?
No, it's a great song.
What were your audition songs? Did you have a go-to?
Oh, God. I think mine were Crazy Little Thing Called Love. And you know what? It was when Don't Stop Believing was out. I think those are my kind of go-to too.
You say that with like such sadness, like you have horror stories.
I just could not imagine auditioning again. Like I stopped that years ago, and I just can't even see myself in that light anymore.
Yeah, isn't it vile?
An audition now, but it's like no way.
Yeah, I'm with you. Can't think of anything worse.
Yeah, great. I loved it, but not anymore.
Yeah, I'm so happy to help students do it.
Yeah.
And embrace them and be their cheerleader, but not for me. Not for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Singers recording with you can use piano or fully orchestrated backing tracks. Are there certain backing track companies that you advise over others regarding the quality?
Yeah, I mean, there's a great guy, I can't remember his actual name, but he runs a company called The Accompanist, and he produces some great tracks. And you can either get just piano tracks or you can get orchestral full tracks made with him. And the great thing is, if you've got specific cut and everything like that, and you want a really fluid track, you can send him all your sheet music, all cut, and he will literally record it for you. And the costs are not too much at all, but I've always recommended him over the past however many years, and everyone seems to have always been happy. So yeah, it's called The Accompanist. I don't get any commission or anything like that. But he's great. So yeah, I'd reach out to him.
In your opinion, how often should singers be thinking about refreshing their voice reel?
I think it's so personal. I think yesterday I had someone who came to see me 3 years ago. I've had some that have been coming every year to update it. I think it's just personal situation, isn't it? I guess if you're getting into the room for everything, then there's no need to do it. But then if you're not getting seen and not booking the work, then I guess that's when you want to start looking at your spotlight profile and thinking, what can I do to improve it? Do I need to update that? Do I need to update my dance reel? Do I need to update my headshots? I think that's when that conversation kind of naturally comes around. I don't think there's a specific time frame on it, shall we say.
Can you give us a little walkthrough then? Say I was coming in for a recording session. What would the day look like?
For sure. So I've got a recording studio in Camden, and that's where I base all my session. So what we do is you come, we'd have a little chat first, chill out, get rid of everyone's nerves, because there's always that nervous kind of energy because you want to get it right. I get it. It's a massively important thing. So I try and make everyone feel comfortable, have a bit of a laugh first, just to ease that kind of tension. And then everyone's got the opportunity if they want to do a vocal warm up. Lots of people like to bring their own kind of things that they do on their own phone. I don't offer anything just because everyone tends to want to do specific things anyway. So they can go in the little booth. They've got, as long as they want to do a bit of a warm up in there. And then from there, what we'll do is we'll focus on each track individually. So we'll go through each one, doing loads of takes, listen to them back, picking the best bit. So I guess that's what the secret magic is that you can pick different takes and make it all try to sound like one long take, which is great. And the amount of singers that say, "Oh, can't I have that in an audition room?" It would be.
Yes.
And then from there, we piece it all together. So we build the vocal reel out. We then make it all look nice and pretty with your headshot and times like on one page on the full video. So cast directors and agents can literally go and pick if they just want to listen to the legit song or pick if they just want to listen to pop rock. So it's all completely timed and mapped out. And then after that, we'll do all the videos as well. So yeah, that's what kind of all works. And then it normally takes around 3 days for all the files to go back to clients. And then everyone can upload them straight to Spotlight and they've got everything they need then, hopefully, at that point.
How long was the actual recording session itself?
Around 2.5 hours each session. Yeah. I think if you're doing four 1-minute cuts, that's a lot of takes within those 2.5 hours if you actually think of it like that, which is great.
Yeah. And I guess it's also another thing in terms of picking your material, thinking about, can you sustain that level and not fatigue the material that you pick in 2.5 hours?
And I think the biggest advice I can give to anyone going to get a vocal reel is to just record themselves singing all those songs in the weeks leading up to, or even before you picked your songs. Just so you can actually physically hear your stuff back. The amount of times that people have come in and not ever really heard their own voice, and then they're suddenly in a bit of shock in the room, like, "Oh, is that what I sound like? I didn't think I sounded like that." Just because you always sound different compared to what you think you sound like. I mean, I'll listen to this, I can be like, "Oh God, I hate the sound of my own voice." Or when you listen to a WhatsApp voice note, you're like, "Oh God, I sound awful on that." It's so different. So I think just recording yourself singing and getting used to yourself singing and listen to your own voice as much as possible is the biggest advice I can actually give before leading up to a vocal.
What other advice would you give to singers in order for them to get the best out of that 2.5 hours with you?
So I would say don't bring songs which are too hard or you don't know inside out, back to front. I think if you're going to bring a song and you know you've only hit that end note once out of 50 times, you're more likely not going to hit it at all on the added pressure of being there. And then you'll get yourself worked up and then you just won't be able to sing it. So don't bring something which is challenging. Sing songs which you find enjoyable and you know you can hit every single day and you like listening to when you record them on your phone and listen to them back. That way you'll 100% guarantee you will enjoy the session. That is the biggest plus.
For singers who haven't had that sort of microphone technique before, is there anything that they can do to prepare for what it's like being in the booth with
Not
headphones?
really. I think we do it so many times that after a few takes, everyone just gets used to it anyway, which is why the first song we pick, we always just sing through the full track, like quite a few times, just to literally get used to hearing yourself in the headphones, hearing yourself coming through the mic. Because again, everyone's different in the room. Some people prefer to have one ear off, some people prefer to have both headphones on with more volume coming through. So everyone's so different. There's no urgency or kind of anything like that when you're in there. So I would say it's all completely chilled and you don't have to have any kind of microphone technique beforehand.
Do you give notes? Like, do you tell a singer, you know what, this bit is sounding a little bit de-energized? Let's see if we can bring that
Yeah,
up.
100%. 100%. And I think I'd like to think, coming from musical theatre background myself, that's really enabled me to be able to kind of produce some amazing vocals without blowing my own trumpet over the past 12 years, is having that kind of knowledge of what sounds good. And I think musical theatre is so specific, rather than just going to a random recording studio where almost like, like one of those red letter day packages or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's such a unique and specific industry that, for sure, I definitely give feedback throughout. And I think the biggest thing when people come in is you can tend to bring it down a little bit once you're in this little kind of cubicle. You want to you don't want to give it everything, give all the acting that you would in a studio or in an audition. And I think that's also one of the biggest things, is really trying to still act throughout it, just so that completely comes across in the reel. I think when you listen to it back, you want to sound engaged. You want to sound like, oh, they're really performing that song. And you can clearly hear that 100%. So yeah, I definitely do give feedback. I'm sure some clients have been annoyed when I've asked them to do it another 20 times, but I'd sooner it be right for them. I think it's as important that is right for them, because it's going to be there to sell them, essentially. But it's also, I want it to get everything right, because it's then what's selling my business, essentially. A good vocal reel is going out there and being heard by everyone. So it's important that it's right for both, for sure.
What can us voice teachers do to help prepare a student for this experience? And do teachers come along with their clients at all?
Not so much teachers. I've had a lot of mums come. They like to give their feedback to their children, even if they're not the bothers.
Yeah. To be fair,
Um,
all of my clients feel like my children, even the ones that are older than me.
Brilliant. I think from a singing teacher perspective, it's just that support, I guess, in terms of telling, almost being brutally honest, I guess, is that song right for them to be going on their vocal reel? Because if they can't hit the notes, but they're like, I must do that song, but they're not hitting them, then I think just helping them find something easier that's just going to show them off. I think even if it's easier and they sound amazing at it, rather than something which is too hard and too pushed, it's just gonna give them the complete opposite effect from a casting director's perspective. Because if they listen to something and it sounds good, but it's not a difficult sing, they're probably still more likely to bring it to the room. If they listen to something and it's completely off, or there's lots of dodgy notes on it, then it's going to have a real detrimental effect in terms of bringing them in the room. And that's always then on the spotlight profile. So I think that's the kind of support I would say.
You've spoken about not auto-tuning things and how you kind of paste the best bits together. What other post-production things can singers expect when they listen back to their reel?
I mean, yeah, so the snipping of the pieces together, definitely do. Auto tune, I don't really like to use it, just because I think you can end up sounding like Britney Spears. However, I have used it. So I'm not going to lie and say I've never used it. I have used it, and I do use it every now and then if it's specific bits. But I really don't like using it, only because I just feel like everyone should sound completely live and feel like, I mean, the whole musical theatre industry is based on being a live performance, right? So I just think we're completely betraying the whole idea if everyone's going to sound amazing in all these vocal reels, but actually in person cannot sing a note live. And also, I just think everyone's going to think they sound amazing. They can be completely auto-tuned, and it doesn't give that pure reality of what they actually sound like live as well. Do you know what I mean? So I just think live is the best way to get on there and get that rawness out. In terms of mixing, yes, all levels and stuff like that is all done. Reverb is added, of course, just because it does sound much better with reverb as well. And there's lots of different like compressors and things like that, which I'd use in them. But ultimately, what I'm trying to achieve is that live kind of aspect performance. Yeah.
Do you have any memorable anecdotes or success stories where a well-crafted voice reel has significantly impacted a performance career?
I mean, I've had loads of messages from people saying that it's helped them get agents, it's helped them secure the agent they desperately wanted. And then a few people have definitely said that they feel that, obviously you can have a guarantee, but they feel that having that voice reel has given them the platform or got them heard by specific cast narratives to be able to, and got them led to them getting jobs.
So what continues to be your mission for singing demos then?
The number one goal is to help people stand out, get heard by specific people that they want to get heard by with a really clear, slick, professional vocal reel. And I think that's why I'm continuing to keep investing. Last month, for example, we bought brand new camera, all brand new camera, which all came to about $6,000. But I think if people are investing that amount of money, they want something great. And for us, it's all about high quality. And I just want people to be able to have the best version of themselves possible online to be able to get them seen, get them heard, and get them in a room. Because it's such a tough industry. And I think that's where my passion comes from in terms of I know how competitive it is. I know how hard people work for it. And anything that we can do to try and help people to get them in the room, get them seen by people they want to be seen with is definitely our mission.
Speaking of money, and I know us Brits are terrible at talking about it because it feels awkward, but how much can we expect to pay for a voice reel?
Yeah, so an audio only reel is £245. A video vocal reel is £295. So that's your 2.5 hour session within a studio. And obviously that includes all the editing time, the recording studio as well.
Teachers, are you working with singers who would benefit from recording a vocal reel? If so, then Singing Demos are offering your clients £25 off their filmed vocal reel package. They can contact Mitch directly to book, quoting the code BAST25 to claim their discount. This is not a BAST affiliate, we're just sharing the love. Just remind us where you're based again.
Yes, the recording studio is based in Camden, so nice and easy for most people to get to.
Yeah, great. And where can people find out more about you and book their session?
Yeah, so either visit singingdemos.co.uk or on Instagram at singingdemos.co.uk again. And on Instagram is actually probably the best place to go to because you can hear all the latest reels that I've just produced. There's you can keep scrolling for hours on there and just keep listening to everyone's vocal reels. And it gives you some great ideas as well in terms of what other people are singing and what songs potentially you may want to sing as well for your vocal reel. And then when you're ready to book, you can either just head straight into the website or send us a direct message on Instagram. We can send you some available slots. Generally, we kind of book 2 months in advance. Yeah, so that's the easiest way to do it.
Well, Mitch Jarvis, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
No worries. It's been lovely to speak to you. Thanks so much.